What up, YouTube? Before we start the video, we got a very important announcement for you.
That's right, we have our new milestone giveaway for 2,000 subscribers. That is a CGC 9.8 graded Thor #1. This cover is a Nick Klein sketch variant that is also signed by Donnie Cates.
What? Are you crazy? Yes, we are. When we hit 2,000 subs, we're giving away this bad boy. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and give us a like. It would be much appreciated because we want to give this away, but we only can do that when we hit 2,000 subs. Let's get to the video. What up, comic fam? It's your boy Jim, and I've got another fresh new Comic Book Day video for you for the week of November 20th. It's a good one. There's a lot of good books this week. It's going to be really hard, I think, for me and probably Nate to pick a pick of the week or have a patois. That's the best part about the show is we get to read and then figure it out, right? Just like y'all do. Anyway, let's go ahead and kick it off into the show. We're going to start off with our independence with Image Comics, The Department of Truth, issue number 27 from Tiny Onion. This is insane. We've been on this arc of trying to figure out and reestablish the whole narrative of Department of Truth just because it was on such a long hiatus. And what we're doing in this arc right now is trying to figure out if Marilyn Monroe is a real person or if she is a lie created by the Department of Truth. We don't know. It's an interesting storyline. I think I definitely like it. We've finally kind of lost or taken off the shackles of, hey, we're restarting the book again and we're diving into a narrative. It's very compelling. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm very intrigued with this narrative with Monroe kind of being, she's so established within American lore and American history. Yeah, we'll see where it goes. All right, next up from Image Comics, we have The Moon is Following Us, issue number 3 from Daniel Warren Johnson. This book is absolutely fantastic. I know I said it's going to be hard to pick up a patois. This is probably it. No, this is it. This book is crazy. I love the narrative that we're building in this book. We've got two parents who are desperate to try to wake up their daughter who seems to be in some kind of dream state coma, and they have to fight through her dreams. They have to fight through her mind, and it's looking pretty scary. The artwork from Riley is absolutely amazing. I think it fits Daniel Warren Johnson's writing style. I think it definitely fits how he would draw, so I think that also helps just create this really awesome book. I think when you have a writer and an artist, more specifically a writer who is an artist, and they're on the same page with another artist who has a very similar art style, I think it just makes the book that even greater. I think the way they connect and the way they're telling the story really comes through. It shines through the pages. So yeah, this is definitely my patois. I don't know why I said it was going to be a hard time. This is definitely my patois. All right, after that, we have The Power of Fantasy, issue number 4 from Karen Gillan. Issue 3 was bonkers. We actually got a roadmap from Karen Gillan of where the series is actually going to go. I think he definitely got very inspired by Hickman's Krakoa data pages and just timelines and maps of timelines and where we were going to go. And he did that in this book. To be quite frank, I absolutely love that. I think teasing the reader with what's coming ahead, but it's going to be all jumbled like a Quentin Tarantino movie. I think that's really smart. So I think it's going to be great. Potential patois. I mean, this, it would be hard for me to really describe what the hell is going on in this book. Just know that there are beings who have the power of a nuclear arsenal within them, and if they fight each other, they can destroy the world. And we don't want that. All right, jumping over to DC, and our only DC book for the show is Wonder Woman issue number 16. This is going to be the beginning arc of the end of the Sovereign. If I'm being quite honest with you, this book has to do a lot of heavy lifting for this issue. This is on the chopping block for me. I've said it a couple weeks now in a row that the absolute line for me is going to be my DC books for the foreseeable future. So, these main timeline books have to do a lot for me to be engaged. And this book is faltered. I don't know if it was because of the Absolute Power tie-in event and it just completely throwing the tone of the book off, or if the Sovereign is just too much, if it's just the narrative driver where they literally are the voice of the book rather than Wonder Woman. I don't know. That's probably the best assumption or the best case for this book of why it's not working for me. Is it's just the story kind of feels stretched out, bogged down, and it doesn't feel like a Wonder Woman book. It feels like a Sovereign book. So we'll see. Maybe issue 16 with the beginning of the end of the Sovereign will lift it up, and I'll be like, you know what? No, this is staying on the pull, but it is officially on alert. It may not be on the pull for much longer. So sorry to say that. Hey, I'm interrupting the video. It's only because I've got something really important to tell you. I know you know what we're giving away when we hit 2,000 subscribers. I gotta let you know about what we're giving away when we hit 1,250 subscribers. We're giving away this Uncanny X-Men #1 signed by Jim Chung, CGC grade 9.8. When we hit 1,250 subscribers, you could potentially win this, but you have to be subscribed to our channel. So hit that sub button, ring that bell, and give us a like. Let's get back to the video, shall we? All right, let's jump over to Marvel. We're going to kick it out with Daredevil issue number 15. And the cover, this is a variant cover, which I will be picking up because the John Romita Jr. cover I don't like. But if you read the solicitations, the cover is incredibly misleading. It sounds like, you know, these demons have been taking over different people in Matt's life where he has to kind of expel them, exorcise them. And it sounds like we will be getting a demon that is going to hit pretty close to home for Matt. We don't know who it is, but they were like, it's not on the cover. So we'll see who it is. I'm sure it's someone, you know, is it Foggy? Is his name Foggy? I can't remember. His best friend and the lawyer in his practice. I bet that's who it is. Anyway, I do love this cover. I will be picking up this cover because this cover is fantastic. And it's not a incentive, so that works out for me. All right, after that, we have Exceptional X-Men issue number 3 from Ewing. This has been my slice of life book, specifically following Kitty Pryde and her interactions with not wanting to be an X-Men, but yet still being pulled into this idea of being a mentor to these new mutants. Emma Frost is now kind of pulling the strings and trying to get her involved, and she's starting to see that. So I think we may have somewhat of a little bit of a showdown between the two and saying, you know, I really don't want to do this. And Emma's like, it's not your choice. I don't know. I think that's where we're going. I've liked this book. I know this book is kind of split down the middle when it comes to fandom. It's quite okay. But this is one of the X books that I will continue to read probably through the first arc and then maybe reassess. But it hasn't been bad for me. I think it's been a lot of fun. I like it. I think it's good. So I'm going to keep reading it. All right, after that, we have Moon Knight Fist of Concha issue number 2 from McKay. Breath of fresh air. This book has just been hitting home runs. It's been hitting dingers left and right. The book has never been in question, and we're getting back to kind of the street level, but we're still doing some kind of dark, I wouldn't say cosmic, but more creatures of the night. You know, we're getting into that stuff, but we've got a street level threat when it comes to like this drug that's coming into Moon Knight's territory. And he's got the DA who he doesn't know is actually involved with the spread of the drug in his neighborhood. So yeah, I think this is going to be fantastic. I can't wait to see what kind of wrinkles McKay throws in for Moon Knight. You know, what outside of the threat of his neighborhood, how is Khonshu going to mess with him? How is he going to fuck it up? It's going to be great. I absolutely love this. And maybe I said it was going to be so hard for a patois because there's just so many good contenders for a patois. That's what it was. Because this is a patois. This is definitely a patois for sure. All right, after that, we have Phoenix issue number 5. This book is kind of faltering for me. And not because it's not good. It's just it just feels a little dull. I know we're doing some pretty big things in the book, but when it comes to the other X books, those are just moving better. The fluidity of those books just feel better. So I think the arc is ending here. I will say I saw some preview panels for Phoenix, and you know, I think the threat, you know, of this a villain of Asgard will be put down pretty quickly. But when I saw some of the preview panels, which is her talking to Eternity, it might stick around. We'll see. It definitely looks like we're setting up, you know, obviously the next arc, and I think the next arc is going to be pretty big, where she's going to have a much bigger presence. I mean, the Phoenix alone has a very big presence within the Marvel Universe, but it looks like we're really going to get into some crazy stuff after this arc ends. So I wouldn't say it's 50-50, but it's starting to teeter towards, do I consider dropping this? So maybe 5 will just completely solidify, no, it's not going anywhere. We'll read and find out. After that, we have Sentinel issue number 2. This book was a complete surprise. I thought issue 1 was fantastic. It's definitely a like Suicide Squad kind of feel for the book, with these humans or mutants, depending on who they are, becoming Sentinels, and they're very dispendable. That was very evident in the first issue where we killed off a main character, supposedly, or we killed off a main character very quickly. So not so main anymore. Yeah, this has been fun. They're going after Shaw. I expect it to be brutal. I expect it to be raw. It's been fun. This is a book that when it first got announced, it's like, I don't know, we'll see. And then I read the first issue and was like, this is great. This is fun. This is something kind of new. It's a new twist, which is we've got this new version of the Sentinels not necessarily being enemies to mutants. They're going after rogue mutants that have diverged from being peaceful and kind of just doing their own thing and being harmful. So I'm sure there is an underline. I'm sure there at some point this book will turn into, Sentinels are bad. Like, well, we know that they're bad, right? We know like they're not bad, but they're bad for mutants. But at some point they'll turn on the good ones, right? Like that always seems to happen. So just a matter of time. But the fact that I'm saying such positive things about a book and we're only into the second issue, I think says a lot about the book. After that, we got Spider-Gwen, the Ghost Spider, issue number 7. This has been really fun. This is a silly goose time book for me. We've got Gwen officially in the 616, but she shouldn't really be there. She's been kind of given a chance. She's got this new villain, the Black Tarantula, who seems to have the hots for her. I don't know, but he wants to kill her. So there's a whole dynamic there. I know that this book is leading into the new TVA book that Gwen will be a part of. So yeah, to see that shift into the story leading up to that next book, I think will be really fun. And also, these covers have been fantastic. This cover is hilarious. I love it. But yeah, this should be a fun read. All right, next up, we've got Storm, issue number 2. This has been a very fun book, and we're only into the second issue, but issue 1 was so much fun. We have Storm. She's running for a U.S. political office. You have her dealing with and wrestling with the complications of mutants and how they impact society, whether for good or bad. We have the incident in Oklahoma where we had a mutant basically being used for their kind of nuclear power and then ended up killing everyone accidentally. And Storm had a choice to either expose the accident via the mutant or just saying it was just an accident. She went with the former, and now she's kind of dealing with the consequences. And then on top of that, that whole radiation blast is killing her. She has radiation poisoning. So it looks like we're going to have an appearance by Doctor Voodoo in this book. I'm, again, going to be a tough week. I now I know why I said the patois thing, because this is a potential patois. This is so much fun. I think Storm, and I think this is a classic instance where an individual character absolutely deserves their own book. And I can't think of any other better mutant to have it than Storm. I think Storm absolutely deserves her own book. And it's a good book. It's super fun. So if you're not reading Storm, get onto it now. I think you're going to have a good time. All right, we're going to end the show with Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 11 from Hickman. This has been fun. Of course, I think Hickman's giving us the Spider-Man book that we've always wanted. I think what's going to suck is when this book eventually goes away because Hickman leaves. Not to say that the Ultimate Universe is not in good hands. I think it is with Camp. But when the Spider-Man book does end, I think it will be kind of a sad day. So we're not going to think about that. It looks like we're getting a Black Cat reveal. We already kind of got a Black Cat reveal, and then like the original Black Cat. So now we're going to get who we think Black Cat is. Should be fun. Again, too many patois. I think this entire show is just a patois outside of DC. All right, that's going to do it for this week's new Comic Day video for the week of November 20th. Let us know down in the comments, what are you picking up today? What are you going to read first? What's your potential pick of the week? Make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and give us a like as we're on the road to 1,250 subscribers. But we can't do it without your support. So if you're not already subscribed, hit that sub button. You saw what we're giving away at certain sub milestones. We give away slabs when we hit those milestones, and we're inching closer. But we can't do it without your support. So make sure to hit them buttons. We'll catch you guys live this Sunday, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll talk about all these books and more. And yeah, it should be a good time. Nate should be here, and yeah, we'll have community. We'll talk about comics. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about in the chat, and we'll just hang out. So yeah, hope to see you there. As always, comic fan, be kind to one another and read more comics. Later.